Good morning, team. Thank you so much again for jumping on this week's Monday Morning Pep Talk, episode number 263. And it's called Consistency Explained. Okay, and on this 263rd episode, I'll dive into what it truly means to be consistent, the discipline it takes to stay the course, and the transformative benefits of remaining focused on your goals and who you need to become to meet those goals. January is that time of year when the excitement of a fresh start begins to fade and the promises we made to ourselves just a few weeks ago start slipping through the cracks. That's why it feels timely and fitting to explore the power of consistency and the discipline required to make it a cornerstone of your success. But before I jump into today's Monday Morning Pep Talk, I want to remind you of my professional purpose, and that is to help you, the full service, full fee advisor, optimize your productivity and help you become the best version of yourself. Why? Because happy advisors sell more real estate. And I do that by teaching you how to handle the challenges and opportunities that you face every single day. When you can effectively manage those situations that do arise on a daily basis in your business, you'll be more productive and live a life that reflects the best version of you. And my ask, as always, is simply my request is that you listen today as if we are one-on-one, either in my office or on the phone on a one-on-one coaching call. Okay. So to be consistent at those things that you've identified as areas that you need to execute on to become successful, it does require an enormous amount of commitment and discipline. Discipline is finding comfort in discomfort. Discipline is action without motivation. Discipline is a choice. Discipline is doing things behind the scenes when no one is watching. The primary reason people struggle with consistency in a commitment to the discipline that is required. Like I said, the primary reason people struggle with consistency is that commitment to the discipline that is required. Consistency is your fuel. Discipline is your commitment to remain consistent. So essentially, these two words go together, right? Discipline and consistency, these commitments that you make to yourself to do the things that on days that you don't want to do, but you got to do them. Here are the steps that I recommend that in 2025 you finally, that you need to take to finally find the discipline and the consistency needed to reach that vision, goals, dreams, and desires that keep flooding your mind. Okay. I was just on a call this morning and we talked about these steps, and step number one is, you got to create a clearly defined vision, those goals and dreams, right? You've got to have it. We've discussed this extensively, yet many people try to skip this very critical step. And once your vision, goals, and dreams are clearly defined and documented, you need to review them every single day, regularly. It's a non-negotiable part of the process. And, I am moving into year 3 of a 3-year vision cycle, and I am seeing the benefits of 2 years of a lot of hard work. That third year, right? I asked myself, or I told myself, Jim, who do you want to become? How do you want to live? What do you have to accomplish by December 31st of 2025 to feel like you made major progress? I wrote those things down, and now heading into that 3-year cycle, or the tail end, I can see light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, it feels great. If you don't do this, you're robbing yourself of a lot of rewarding experiences of hitting those longer range goals. Number two, you got to commit. You got to burn the ships. Burn the ships means you create so much leverage on yourself that there's no going back on the old ways that you've run your business. I want you to remove all distractions and noise, allowing you to channel your full focus on your 3-year vision, your annual and your quarterly goals. I think we think that if we write something down, but we don't change who we are and commit to the change, what it's going to take. And I think we can just become the same person and hit those goals just because we write it down. That's not the case. You got to change who you are. You got to commit. You got to burn the ships. Then it goes into step number 3. You got to build systems, processes, habits, and routines. Excuse me. Build systems, processes, habits, and routines. Building the proper habits and routines are essential because, as James Clear emphasizes in the Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. You know, what that's part of the commitment. Part of the commitment is, what am I going to create to maintain that consistency and that discipline? Consistency is in small intentional actions over time, allows those habits to embed into your daily routine, eventually becoming second nature, which is your biorhythms. Consistency, again, small intentional actions. And when your execution reaches this level, you no longer require the same mental effort or willpower, freeing you to focus on growth and bigger challenges. We rely so heavy on willpower sometimes and motivation. This is why I say I don't want to be motivating to you guys. I want to create strategy. Motivation wanes like a battery loses its charge. Same thing with willpower. Once you've built these systems, processes, habits, and routines, you need to use step number 4 is use tracking methods to monitor your consistency. Tracking your progress is essential until your habits become ingrained biorhythms that operate automatically in your daily life. When you measure your actions, you create accountability and gain clarity on what's working and what needs that adjustment. This tracking phase bridges the gap between intention and execution. Intention and execution, ensuring that you stay aligned with your vision until those habits are no longer something you think about. You just do them. They're just who you are. I don't use an alarm to wake up. I wake up naturally every day because my body is in a biorhythm. I go to bed at a certain time and I wake up at a certain time, and that's all by design. If you train yourself to do that. I know that sounds crazy, and I apologize for talking about myself. I'm not here to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you that if you want to be an elite level producer and being incredibly productive, these are the things you got to do. You got to track until you create those biorhythms that are just incredibly natural. Step number 5, you need to exhibit patience. Late last year I talked about thinking like a farmer, and that's what a farmer is. A farmer is patient, right? Patience is a critical ingredient in achieving your vision and your goals. Transformation does not happen overnight. It requires consistent effort and the willingness to trust the process, even when results aren't immediately visible. Like planting seeds, your actions need time to take root and grow. We call it the law of gestation. By exhibiting patience, you give your vision the space it needs to evolve and align with the disciplined actions you're taking every day. Consistency isn't just about results, it's about trust. When you're consistent, you prove that you're reliable, you're trustworthy. For you, the advisor, the entrepreneur, consistency brings you peace of mind. With strong systems, processes, habits, and routines in place, you eliminate the stress of uncertainty and you gain the confidence that your efforts will pay off. The truth is, I've seen advisors with less natural talent outperform others simply because they are wildly consistent in their execution. That consistency is always supported by the systems, the processes, the habits and routines, the checklist, all of it that they've built and refined over time. They don't necessarily work harder. And in fact, often they don't. But they've done the work up front to create a framework that supports their life and business. They are intentional in everything they do. And this is hard for some personality types. I mean, really hard, but you got to do it. You got to create it. And the only way that you stick to it is when you see the results. Then you become addicted to the results, and then you just keep doing them because you know that financially you're better off when you do these things. So if you want to succeed in 2025 and beyond, you need to commit now to a consistent, disciplined effort because without it, your goals risk being buried alongside the January resolutions that never made it past those first few weeks of January. We're in a danger zone right now. Calls are starting to come in. You're getting busy. You're getting pulled into your old habits. You're getting pulled into your old habits. And that's when the challenges come in, right? So that is, my friends, consistency explained. Some big words in there: consistency, discipline, commitment, systems, processes, habits, routines, all boring stuff until you figure out how sometimes the boring stuff is what actually works. It's kind of like blocking and tackling in football, right? Like offensive tackles and defensive tackles don't end up on the front page of a sports magazine. That's how you win games, right? Just to use a sports analogy. Team, I appreciate you. I appreciate you jumping on, being on these calls. Listen to me on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Um, it's been fun. I look forward to, again, continuing to write what's on my mind. If you're not getting my email, fire me an email to jim@askjimmiller.com. I'll get you signed up. Um, Lots of content out there. Sometimes when you read it after you listen to it, it actually kind of tends to have a bigger impact. So anyway, thank you, team. See you next week.